I did my review recently for Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reza Arc, and there were a lot of people in the comments who were talking about what are your thoughts on season 1. I've had people coming into my live streams asking me, and I was like, let me just go back and check out my review for season 1. And then I realized I wasn't posting reviews at that time, so apparently I don't have one. And we need to fix that, which is why I am here. Because Chainsaw Man Season 1 captured me in a way that anime just hasn't in a long time. It was really, I think, the first anime I had watched in a while that made me want to jump back into anime as a genre. That's how powerful this anime was for me. So I figured it's about time I come here and I talk to you guys about season 1. I know I'm late, but I promise I was watching it when it was releasing. Let's talk about season 1. Okay, so I wrote down some points that I want to highlight about why this anime is peak. Ultimately, this is an anime that I think is just so weird, but so delightful. It really shows you the potential for storytelling that we have in things like anime and manga today. I just feel like there are some stories that are really doing things that nothing else is. In no other genre do we get weird stuff like Chainsaw Man. What's it about? A man who has chainsaws for arms and legs and a face? Huh? When I first watched this show, there were a few things that captured me. I think, namely, the tragedy of this story is something that I really loved. I really love tragic stories. I mean, one of my favorite books of all time is We the Living, which, if you've never read that book, it's super depressing. And so I really love tragic, sad stories. And this one starts off with a banger of a tragedy. We are introduced to Denji, who basically inherited a debt. And I remember when I was first watching this show, my initial reaction was, what do you mean he inherited a debt? Yeah, his dad passed away, and he then had to take on his dad's debt because it wasn't paid off. Because that's how it works, apparently, with the Yakuza in Japan, which I thought that seems unfair, and hence why I was immediately attracted to the story. Denji sells off literal parts of his body to try to pay this debt, and it still is impossible. Like, I think I have problems in my life with trying to figure out how to make everything work on a content creator actor budget. But Denji has some real problems. His debt is insurmountable. It's like he'll never pay it off. And even though he ends up creating this partnership with Pochita, where he helps Pochita by giving him blood and saves his life, they have this pact together, and Pochita and Denji work together hunting devils. And they're not like licensed devil hunters, which are a thing in this world, because that's what happens. There are devils that are representing our fears, and the more that people are afraid of those things, the more power they have. One of the most powerful being, of course, the gun devil, who we are also introduced to a little bit in season 1. So Denji has some really big problems. Even though he's out here hunting devils with Pochita, it's still not enough to pay his debt. And I just found him to be such a sweet figure. In a way, and this might be crazy, but he kind of reminds me of Luffy a little bit, in the sense that he has a dream. He's really tied to these dreams. But where Luffy's like, I want to be king of the pirates, and I want to find the One Piece, the ultimate treasure. Denji's like, I want to eat jam on toast. I want to touch a boob. That's Denji for you. And I love how simple his dreams feel, yet how impossible they somewhat feel, considering his circumstances coming into life and all of these impossible things that he has to deal with. And yet he just keeps going on. He finds these little moments of joy, I think, these motivations that are simple. And I love that. The thing that I love about Chainsaw Man is it's such an emotional story. You think it's ridiculous because it's a chainsaw man, but for a big story, it has a lot of heart to it. And that is something that I really appreciate about this story. Speaking of how big the story can get as well, there's also a ton of insane animation in season 1. And even in Reza Arc as well, I felt we upheld this. I talked about this in my review. The animation from MAPPA is I think, insane. And the amount of work that they have to do to rig all the little elements, if you look into the behind the scenes of how they animate this show, it's wild the amount of work that they put into it. And I'm really hoping in season 2 we can just keep up with this quality. I think the thing that I really love about the animation the most is the way they play with light and shadows. We don't talk about this, but it's really beautiful. It heightens even just small moments, even moments like the joy of Denji eating jam on bread, or when he and Puchita merge together and Puchita gives Denji his heart. I think that there is just something beautiful about even the small moments and how they're animated with such care, and the level of detail to things like expression, the style that they have in season 1 I really liked. They changed the style up a little bit for the movie, but I still liked it. I still felt like it worked. It just was less realistic. The style for season 1, while it is still an anime, feels very like hyper realistic in the way the characters move and react to things. Like, it just feels very human. The fights are also on another level. There are so many little things happening, oftentimes so quickly, and you can tell that this studio just has a ball animating all of these devils. I think the devil designs, which of course come from the manga, so Tatsuki Fujimoto, so shout outs to Fujimoto, who has done insane work with the designs of some of these characters. I think my favorite devil in season 1, obviously other than Puchita, I realize I don't even have Puchita up here right now. The disrespect. Get in there. Your little feet. I think my favorite devil, other than Puchita, has to be... I actually really liked the future devil, who doesn't come in until later in the season, but the future devil's just so weird. He's such a weird guy, and I think that was something that I really loved. I also loved the fight against the Eternity Devil. That whole arc, that whole part where we're in the hotel and trying to defeat the Eternity Devil, I literally thought everyone was going to die there. And I love the way that this show plays with the idea of, you know, anyone can die at any time. Basically, everyone kind of feels like a red shirt, other than maybe Denji. It's just the stakes are so high. And so when you do lose people, well, you're kind of expecting it. At the same time, it feels sudden because the show makes you care so much about the characters that you root for them. And when you do get attached to main characters, like when it's not just some random guy that's on the team, they're like, we didn't even establish that guy. You think, well, come on, like this person has to make it, like Himeno has to make it. And then, no, that's not what happens, actually. And you think Makima will be fine. And then Makima gets taken out seemingly easily. Of course, not really. And that was another thing where I thought that was real because we had lost Himeno, and then it turned out that wasn't real, and that Makima was actually okay, and somehow she recovered. And there's just so much going on in this show that I never know what to expect. And that is what I love about it. You feel like you are there with the characters, and you don't know if they're going to make it or not, but you're praying that they do. The other thing is that although this show is very dark, and we have a lot of intense fight scenes and tragic losses, we also have these little moments of joy, which is really, I think, what the story is about, especially when you have someone like Denji as your main character, who that's really all he's looking to do. His ambitions, at the beginning at least, have been small. I think that the little moments of joy are something that I also live for in this show, because they just feel so cathartic after you've been through the ringer with these characters, to see them just get to have a little moment of happiness. You know, Himeno and Aki having their smokes, Puchita getting lost and being found, Denji telling Puchita about his dreams, Puchita giving up his life for Denji, becoming his literal heart, Team 4 going out for drinks to celebrate. There's so many little moments of joy in here that I just love. The little found family that is Aki, Denji, and Power, overseen by Makima, who's probably like very evilly overseeing them, it kind of feels like. But there's so much here that I just love. Meowie, I love Meowie. Power is another one of my favorite characters, by the way, in case you couldn't tell from my Power shirt. I love Power so much. It was very sad in Reza arc when they basically wrote her out for the entire arc. So yeah, there's a lot to love in terms of even just these simple little things that kind of feel sometimes slice of life-esque. I really love slice of life anime that isn't really slice of life. Like, that's also probably why I love Spy Family. It's like a spy drama, suspenseful show, but it also is just about like a little family. And that's kind of what Chainsaw Man does for me, except on a supernatural devil hunter level. There's also a lot of mysteries that this show has that keeps me intrigued and keeps me coming back because I want to know what the heck is going on. There's so much in this show that is not explained to you. You just have to watch and figure it out along the way, and there are little clues and little hints, but it doesn't hold your hand. It does smart storytelling so that if you're paying attention, you're fine. But if you're not focused on the story, if you're not actually watching this show, you will miss things. And what I love about Chainsaw Man is that the mysteries are great in that way because they require you to pay attention. They are deep mysteries. Like, what is going on with Makima at the end where she comes back and she manages to survive and then she takes everyone out with her power? Why are her eyes like that? Did she make a deal with the devil? I don't know. I haven't read the manga. I'm only watching the anime. I think we got a little bit more of what's going on with her, obviously, in the movie, but I have so many questions. Definitely, I feel something is going on with Denji because everyone wants Denji. Wants him for his heart, but also wants him for his heart. And he's not like a smooth guy. So I think there's something special about him, but I still don't really know what exactly. There's also, of course, the gun devil, which is what we were building up to in season 1. And we're trying to get to the gun devil. Makima wants this. She's made a promise to Denji that she'll get a little frisky with him if he can deliver on that. And we also know that Aki, his family was taken out by the gun devil, so he has his own motivations. He clearly has some ties to Makima as well. So there's a bunch with the gun devil that we still don't really know. I don't even want to know how powerful the gun devil is. Probably way too powerful here. And then, of course, there are the mysteries that we saw in the movie with characters like Reza, which I still feel like there's stuff to be told there because Denji doesn't know what really happened to her, and she was a very mysterious character when she was introduced. And I wonder if there is more in her story still to be told, even though she is now, gone. At least I think so. I think. She's gone, right? It's very clear to me that Fujimoto is also a huge cinephile. He's a big fan of movies, of the cinema, and he uses a lot of that in the way that he tells stories, which is also why I'm very excited to be checking out Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 to 26, which will be the short stories that Fujimoto did. And it's kind of an anthology series that is an anime that will be on Amazon Prime Video. So I also want to check that out. So let me know down in the comments if you want me to review that when I watch it. I think it's coming out November 7th. So I'm very excited for that. I just feel like the way that he approaches storytelling is something that is becoming a bit of a lost art in general in media, like across the board. So when I see storytellers that understand the importance of that and, works that are created from what they've written that also understand the importance of that in the adaptation with the anime, for example, it's really powerful. It's really moving. The beautiful blend of things that are so freaking weird. Like if you try to explain Chainsaw Man to someone that doesn't watch anime, has never seen an anime before, this would be such a weird story. And yet somehow it feels grounded at the same time. Like I would just tell those people if they were really weirded out, if you have a friend like that, just tell them to watch episode 1 with you. Because I was also apprehensive and then I watched episode 1 and it completely changed my perspective on what this anime was really about. That's the magic of Chainsaw Man. Yeah, overall, I loved season 1. I gave it a 5 out of 5 in my mind, and now I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 out loud to you, the viewer. It was pure perfection, and I'm very excited for season 2, and hopefully I'll still be alive by the time that comes out. I don't know how long we have to wait. But I also will say, let them cook. I'm willing to be patient as long as it is as amazing as season 1 was. Although I don't know how we're going to top the opening credits. Kick Back is just like my anthem whenever I'm going hard on something, it just plays in my mind. And I'm like, yeah. That's all I have for this one. Let me know your thoughts on Chainsaw Man Season 1 down in the comments below. Have you seen the movie yet? Did you like it? Have you seen my review for the movie? You can click over here to check that out. I'll see you next time. And until then, friends, stay nerdy. Bye. And if you like when I talk anime, let me know down in the comments.